Hey everybody, this is JD Walker from Stream Punk Sports, and I am here with Bryan Felt, the Seton Hall Athletic Director. How are you doing today, Bryan?
I'm doing great, thank you so much.
We're here at Big East Media Day at Madison Square Garden, and how excited are you for the Pirates coming into into this season, building off of the NIT championship?
Well, this is always an exciting day. It signifies the beginning, really, in so many ways, right? Of what we all love, Big East basketball. So, incredibly excited for our squad. I think we have a lot of new faces, obviously, for our fans to get to know. But I think it's a talented group. They've been working hard all summer. Coach Holloway, you know how he operates. You're going to grind it out in practice, and every practice has been that way. And it's going to be really exciting to see him take the floor.
Yeah. How's the practice facility coming along? That's running ahead of schedule. I saw it last week.
Fantastic. Should be done January 1st is expected completion date. So we're going to move the guys in there as soon as we can. Because really the project continues. We're also we have as part of the project was obviously the creation of the men's basketball side, but then we will do a whole new enhancements to all the women's basketball side. So that begins really in January when the men move into their facility. Yeah. We've already started some of the women's pieces, but that'll begin. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. It looks tremendous. It's going to be a top facility in the conference, if not the country. Yeah. And I'm really excited to start the women's side. The women will get also a new locker room, lounge, and all of those amenities. Yeah. So really excited for both our programs.
And they get the Tommy Amaker office suite.
They will, yeah. We're going to renovate that suite a little bit too, upgrade it for women's basketball as well. So the coaches will move into that. And then obviously our student athletes will have brand new facilities as well.
Yeah. Can you speak about the about NIL and the efforts with Ahmed Setonia and Mike and the mics?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of people involved in Mike, right?
Yeah, coming from last year into this year, there was a lot of stuff in the media. Oh, Seton Hall has no NIL. Yeah. They don't have any money. And whether that's true or not, it is repeated often enough in the media that for some fans it is a bit of a concern.
Yeah, I get all that. I get all that. I do think I think it's a bit of an unfair characterization, but it's also there. Listen. I kind of equate it to Seton Hall Athletic fundraising. We've been incredibly successful over the years. We've grown that for so many years, right? And if you looked at that in the conference, is it in the top echelon? No, it's not. I mean, no, we're not raising what Georgetown's raising and what Villanova's raising and Creighton. It's a reality in UConn. It's very similar in the same thing in terms of NIL. But within our footprint, we're doing a lot of work in NIL, and NIL has gotten better each and every year. We've grown that, much like as I use the example, we've grown Pirate Blue over the years. So I think NIL continues to flourish. I think it continues to get better each and every year. We've made great strides with a lot of our alumni and our fans, many who were resistant to the idea of NIL in the early days, but they've really kind of come around, and that's helpful. I think we've spent a lot of time educating certain folks for that reason, but we continue to enhance the events that we do and continue to raise money. We've raised more and more money each and every year, and I'm incredibly thankful to all those that have been so helpful to kind of really drive the bus for that, like gentlemen like Michael Frangillo and Mike McBride and our staff who's really helped kind of organize it from our standpoint. So it continues to get better. I encourage folks every day that, listen, it's critically important to help our NIL right now and create these opportunities for our student athletes. And again, it's going to evolve and change to where I think it's going to become easier for the fan to understand it and easier for the fan to get involved. So it continues to grow and in a positive way for us. Yeah.
You haven't run into a lot of donor fatigue?
No, I think that's a reality. I think donor fatigue is a reality. I think it happens, and it has happened to an extent. I mean, we continue to try and find ways to broaden the base, right? Broaden the base so you don't have to go to the same folks all the time. I mean, we're incredibly fortunate that we do have folks that are always willing to step up every time, but no, we have to broaden the base. We do. And every time, I know if you talk to Mike McBride, every time he or I talks to somebody, we say, okay, how can you help? We'll take we're open to ideas, we're open to suggestions, and we've been listening and hearing those ideas and putting the ones to work that we think make sense, and we'll continue to do that.
Okay. And with NIL and Pirate Blue, it's almost like a dual, dual, you have the facilities and you have NIL. Right. Is NIL cannibalizing Pirate Blue, or has
to this date we have not seen that be the case? I'm incredibly proud of our alumni and our supporters because I say to them all the time, and it's hard to say it. I need you to support both. Yeah. But both have been supported, both have done very well. Listen, we've been able to build the facility with a lot of great support, and I think that was critically important to our program. So no, it has not. And I do think that once revenue sharing begins, with as this house settlement comes to a close within the year, I think you're going to see that it's all going to be one again. So, your Pirate Blue Dollar becomes your NIL gift in a way. So it's all going to kind of merge together.
Now, with the NIL and the House settlement, the way that it appears to be initially structured is kind of coming down a little harder on the bigger time basketball schools that aren't really funding big time football, where you have that Power 5, Power 4, however many conferences you want to have now, are fitting the most of it. But would Seton Hall be in a good financial position for?
So you're talking about
future
the back
liabilities?
pay, right? So you have two areas of the House settlement. You have the back pay, and then you have actual revenue sharing, which is moving forward.
Right.
Certainly on the back pay, I don't think anybody's happy with that is in the football floor, if you will, because that's the reason the lawsuit came about. Yeah, we're going to be on the hook for some of that. It's going to feed through the conference. So essentially, what's probably going to happen is you're going to see we'll take less of a share, like everyone else won the conference. Everyone will lose an equal share in terms of what has to be paid to the back pay for the House settlement.
So does it come out of NCAA credits or something?
Well, I think what will end up happening, quite frankly, is I think you might see that made up for in the new television deal for us. The new revenue that we probably would have earned in that television deal. And again, a lot of this still is to be determined.
Of course.
But I think a lot of those funds that you'll see probably that would have been increased in the TV deal might make up for what it is that we would have to have paid out. So at the end of the day, you probably end up being whole in what you're normally used to, but the increase that we would have gotten from the television deal might be what covers our back payment to the House settlement. We don't know that officially yet, but that is essentially what is being looked at.
All right. As you just mentioned, the TV deal.
Yeah.
How does that put the Big? Where do you think that puts the Big East now with the security of the Big East deal? Going forward, there was rumblings about UConn in the Big 12, and that's tabled for now. We'll see. Do you think that the TV deal puts the conference in a good position?
I think we did a tremendous job on this television deal. I'm very pleased with it. I know that sometimes a fan or someone might say, well, now you're on several different networks, and we were very used to and accustomed to seeing everything on Fox. And I couldn't agree more. I get that. There was an ease to that. There was a convenience to that. I think that the new television contract is reflective of the times, really. It's reflective of streaming in that marketplace and how that's represented. And I think if you look at what the Big Ten's done and other deals before this, it's very similar. I think our fan base will get accustomed to it quickly. I just think that's the way. I think that's the way that generationally people are watching sports and television content. So I think Peacock's going to be a great addition to our arsenal in terms of exposure. And I'm excited for it. And to have Turner involved and all the different broadcast outlets involved, I think could be a benefit.
All right. Thank you very much, Bryan.
You got a
camera with you for a second. This is,
you got it. Go Pirates.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Bryan Felt and JD Walker signing off.
All right. Thank
you.
Go
Pirates.
Go Pirates. You got it. All right, dude.